Morning, Bill here with the Metals Minute. Today is Monday, May 23rd, 2022. Well, we have a lot of discouraging news out there in real life, not for the metals, but of course we don't like to see what's going on out there in terms of predictions of global food shortages, some of them already beginning to manifest in different nations around the world. Thankfully, here in the United States so far, all that we've seen is just higher prices, and that's bad, don't get me wrong, but we haven't had the riots in the street and the buildings burning and that kind of thing, and we feel for people that are actually lacking food, that need food. That's nothing that we want to see out there, nor do we want to see the rampant inflation that continues to wreak havoc around the world. So we're seeing difficult conditions manifest. We've got stock markets coming down, bonds coming down, real estate. But keep in mind, gold and silver and precious metals, the reason we own them is for difficult periods like we're seeing today. And while we're not happy about the difficult periods, we are pleased that our precious metals are the best performers so far this year. And historically, when we look at things that are going on similar to what we see today, the average bear market in stocks is 3 times longer than what we're seeing develop now. So this may continue for a while. It might be a while before we come to a solid bottom in stock prices. And the last similar period that we can find would be from 1972, 73, 74, where we had high inflation, and then they were trying to raise interest rates to deal with inflation. We see that starting to happen now. And what we saw was declines in the stock market over that period of time just continued to grind lower. You know, there were short bursts of a rally, what they call a bear market rally. We may see that from time to time in our own stock market this time around. There'll be moments where the market, or maybe a period of a week or two, where it seems to be going back up. But the sales numbers are just haven't been very good at all. In fact, last week we had Target and Walmart. The stock suffered its worst one-day losses since the market crash of 1987, and that's due to pain being felt by the consumer with higher fuel prices, less discretionary income to make those retail purchases, and so that translates into lower retail stock prices. And of course, we've seen that across the board: technology, stocks, cryptocurrencies. But the metals are holding up extremely well. In fact, over the weekend, they're all 4 of the precious metals that we cover are higher. And so let's talk about what happened to gold during that period of time, 72, 73, 74, when financial conditions were somewhat similar to today, although there's a good argument to be made that conditions are more challenging now than they were then. But over that period of time, we saw stocks increase each of those 3 years anywhere from 50 to 75% per year. Meanwhile, the stock market was down over 70% during that period of time. So that makes the relative performance of gold and silver and precious metals the clear winner in financial conditions such as we're seeing today. So while our celebration is muted due to the human suffering that we see beginning to develop around the world and also in this country, it doesn't take away from the fact that precious metals are helping to preserve our financial freedom and our purchasing power in the future to help protect our families. That's why we purchased it to begin with. It's not just to make a quick buck, although I did have some clients that bought metals last week. They're already up because the metals are higher already. That's not the primary reason we do it. It's for to preserve purchasing power for generations and protect our loved ones. And so if you're not a precious metals owner yet, it's still a wonderful opportunity right now. If you have some cash available, I would recommend you to call our friends at the United States Gold Bureau and get some precious metals in your portfolio. In just a really short time, I believe you'll be very glad that you did. And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you again later this week with a full market update.